Welcome back, squad. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Full Ride, the college recruiting podcast. I am your recruiting coach and host, Kito Delgado, and as always, we are powered by URECRUITU. Our mission is very simple here, right? Each and every Thursday, we want to educate our student athletes, our parents, our guardians on the ins and outs of college recruiting. We know you're really busy, so we want to help you learn on the go. So if this is your first time checking us out, welcome to the squad. And for all of our returning listeners, thank you so much for tuning in. We got a great show for you. We're going to continue our series of debunking common college recruiting myths. Let me start over, Debunking common college recruiting myths. Wow, that's a mouthful. But essentially what we want to do is over the next 5 weeks, so we are on week 3 here, but over the next 5 weeks, what we're doing is we are introducing you to 2 common college recruiting myths. And we really believe that by doing this, you're going to be able to effectively navigate and take control of the college recruiting process simply by not falling prey to these myths, because so many families do unfortunately believe these to be true, and it's a quick way to sabotage your recruiting efforts. So like I said, this is our third part of a 5-part series. So if you miss episodes 1 and 2, I encourage you to go back to episode 28 and 29. And on those particular episodes, I have so far gotten I've talked about how not all athletic scholarships are a full ride. That's a big myth. In fact, on average, it's $10,400 is your average athletic scholarships. I also get into the difference between a head count sport and an equivalency sport. The second myth was grades don't matter if you are a talented athlete. That is definitely a big myth. And then on episode 29, myth number 3, I shared that it's not the job of your high school coach to help you with college recruiting. It's a bonus if they do help, but you definitely should not expect your high school coach to help you with college recruiting. It's certainly not their job. And then number 4, a big myth is that a lot of you believe that athletic departments at the college level have, limitless recruiting budgets. The fact of the matter is they don't, and as a result, they typically only recruit certain parts of the country, and they really rely on their relationships with different trainers, with different coaches. So this is the third part. We're going to talk about myths number 5 and 6. But before we do so, I just want to make sure you can find us on social media. The best place to start off with is by going to our website. Head over to urecruitu.com, urecruitu.com. And don't forget, it's the letter U, then recruit, and then the letter U. So urecruitu.com. That's our website. Check us out over there. And then you can also follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Just use the handle URECRUITU. And last but not least, if you are in the YouTube, you can actually watch this show live on YouTube. Just search URECRUITU. And then we have a playlist for Full Ride. Click the playlist and you'll see all of our episodes. And then some of them actually have me recording myself talking. So really encourage you to do that. Hope to hear from you. But now, next 10 to 12 minutes, I want to talk to you about these 2 college recruiting myths, number 5 and number 6. Number 5, this is the big one. I'm getting recruited if I get a letter in the mail from a college coach. I'm going to say it a little bit slower. I am a recruited athlete. I am getting recruited if I receive a letter in the mail from a college coach. This is a huge myth. Huge myth that I need to make sure my families do not fall for. I'm going to be honest. college coaches, they cast a really, really wide net, right? And I'm going to include email as well. So you get something in the mail or you get an email, right? And I'll add a third part. You get invited to a camp, right? Those are the three, types of buckets where I feel like the majority of families fall victim. They think that, oh, wow, coach has reached out to us. We're getting recruited. They're interested in us. That's a big myth. And what I want to do is I want to just kind of describe to you briefly how a coach goes about recruiting. I mean, I said it before in last week's episode. I was talking about how college coaches and athletic departments, the majority of them, outside of your top Division I programs, don't have these big recruiting budgets. They got to work with very small budgets. And one way they kind of do this is by email and by letters, right? They have these databases. They have all your information on it. And then what they'll do is they will just send out, thousands of letters and emails to student athletes, prospective student athletes. And usually it starts off with, hey, please complete this, player profile. Visit our website, complete your player profile. It starts off with that, or you get something in the mail, and it's just some generic, letter in the mail. The only thing that's different is the address and the name at the top. But they literally copy and paste that, and they send that same letter out to thousands of other student athletes. And the reason why they do it is they want to try to, with their limited budgets, cast a wide net, and it's almost like a funnel. They want to build out their funnel. So they know, okay, if we need to get, 20 athletes by the end of this recruiting season, we need to go out and reach out to 1,000 of them. And the reason why it's so high is because they know some of you may not be that talented to play at their school. Maybe you are talented, but you want to go to another school. Maybe you don't qualify academically. So there's a number of reasons of why they have to build a big funnel, because they know at the very end of it, they're only going to end up with 20 to 40 kids that truly have an interest in their program. And what I need you to understand is, just because you get a letter in the mail by a coach, or not even by a coach, by a program, does not mean you're being recruited. So what I want you to really focus on is, once you get that first letter, what's the next step? What do you do next? What should you do next to then go from, a potential or a prospective student athlete to an actual recruit? Because that's what you want to go. You want to go from a prospective student athlete to an actual recruit that a coach is actually engaging in on a consistent basis. And the first thing you want to do is you want to go online and complete their questionnaire. It's an easy task. Go online, complete the questionnaire. But don't stop there. That's where so many student athletes and their parents, they stop. They fill out the questionnaire and say, okay, I'm done. No, that's just the beginning. The next step should be a call or an email. Let's just say an email to a coach. Hey, coach, thank you for the email. Just want to let you know I completed the questionnaire online. Hope to hear from you soon. And then maybe give them your cell phone number and so on. Or you call, leave a voicemail. Hey, coach, got your email, got your letter in the mail, right? Those little things you want to definitely make sure you are responding to that correspondence. And the way you figure out that you are truly being a recruited athlete is where it starts to become personalized. So maybe, the coach starts to call you directly. They start to visit you at your school. They start to text you. That's when you are starting to get recruited, when it's no longer a generic correspondence. They're calling, they're reaching out to you directly. If they do send you an email, it's it's legit because they're talking about maybe your last game, or they're inviting you to an unofficial visit or an official visit, right? So you gotta know the difference between being a prospective student athlete, which is just getting generic mail, versus an actual recruited athlete. And I think the biggest way for you to do that and understand when that shift happens is in the correspondence. How are they communicating with you, and how often are they communicating with you? And the best way for me is when they give me their cell number, I'm telling you right now, that's a sign, right? That's a great sign for you to know. When they ask you for your transcript, that's another sign. When they come visit you at school, that's a sign. When they invite you on an official visit, that's a sign, right? A basic letter in the mail is not a sign, does not mean you're being recruited. I do encourage you though, right? If that's a school that you are interested in, respond to that email right away. Whatever they ask of you, do it. Usually it's going to be complete the online questionnaire and then follow up with the coach via email or with a phone call. But don't make the mistake of thinking that, oh, I got a letter in the mail, I'm being recruited. You're not. That's a big myth. I don't want you to fall victim to it. Number 2, college coaches only care about your athletic ability and your grades, right? I think many of our student athletes really fall victim to this, where you're balling, you're doing really well, you work out, you're in the weight room, you got a personal trainer, you work out, all that stuff. You love the game, and you're talented, and you think, okay, cool. Oh, and by the way, I'm decent at school. So you think the only thing that really matters to a coach is, can I play? So you check that box, and am I academically eligible? Yep, I did a good job with my core classes. I did well in the SAT. I'm good, right? As you guys like to say, I'm Gucci. I'm straight, right? There's a third part that I need you guys to really understand about all this, and it's character. And I'm going to say character / body language, but I guess you could say body language falls under character, for all intents and purposes. But this is really important because, it's a saying that I like to say often, and what that is your reputation often introduces you before you get a chance to, right? So your reputation, coaches hear things, right? If you got a bad attitude, if you don't work hard, if you're only relying on your athletic ability, your God-given athletic abilities, if you're lazy, you're not the best, you're not coachable, coaches will find out, they will figure out a way to find that information out about you. And by the time you get a chance to defend yourself, they've already painted a picture about you. And that's what I mean by your reputation introduces you before you get a chance to. And obviously, college coaches, they rely on your high school coach to get that information, but they're taught to your guidance counselors. If they go to your school, they're taught to the janitor, they're taught to your teachers, they're taught to your principal. They will figure it out. They will find out if you what kind of character you have. But then the second part is also what they will do is if they decide to come watch you play, at that point in time, they already know you can play. They already know you're talented. They already know you probably qualify academically, because those are the two things they want to make sure. Can they play, and are they eligible? And they're not going to waste a trip going to your school to watch you play if they didn't already have that confidence that you can play and that you were eligible. So that next part is when they go to your game, they want to see you in game action. And they want to see how you respond when the chips are down. They want to see what kind of teammate you are. They want to see if you get yanked, if you get yelled at by your coach, do you pout? They want to see if you make a mistake, do you go in the tank? Or they want to see, what your body language is. They want to see your energy. Are you flying around? Do you have, high energy? Are you cheering on your teammates? That's the third part that many of you fail to realize. Many of you ignore it. You ignore your body language on the field or on the court, on the rink. And that's a big problem for you. And I'm telling you, coaches, I'm being very honest with you, coaches, as they start to go through their filter, right, they have more scholarships to give than they do student athlete. I mean, it's just a fact. They have an abundance of student athletes and not enough scholarships. That's what I meant to say. So I was off. There's so many qualified student athletes out there. And literally what they're doing is they are looking for reasons not to offer you. Because they know, okay, well, if it's not going to be this one, so what? Cross them off, cross him off, cross her off. We'll go find the next student athlete. We'll go find the next recruit. No big deal. So they are literally looking for reasons not to give you an offer. And that last step that many of you fail to realize is your character, your grades. They're going to look at your transcript. They're going to see how many absences you have, right? How many times you were late for school. They're going to go to your Twitter page, your Instagram page. They're going to look at your tweets. They're going to see what time of day you're tweeting. Are you tweeting during the day? Are you tweeting late at night? Are you tweeting right before the game? Right? Those are red flags to them, right? So they are literally scrutinizing you because, again, not all of you are going to get a full ride, but some of you are going to get a full ride based off of your athletic abilities and your grades in the class. And if they're going to be giving you, I looked up the other day, some of these schools, they're charging $60,000, $70,000 a year. So you're talking about a $300,000 scholarship. You best believe they're going to be, really scrutinizing they're going to dot their I's, cross their T's. They're going to look at everything about you, right? So that's a big myth that I just want to really put to bed, that if you have good grades, if you're athletic, if you're talented, that's all that matters. No, don't forget that third bucket. Do not forget about your character and your body language, because that can literally sink your recruiting efforts. I've talked to college coaches. I promise you, they were ready to offer a kid, and then they go, based off of their highlights and all that stuff, and then they go to the game, and they have terrible energy. They're walking in between plays. It's not good. Or some of them sometimes will just show up to their practice unannounced during the week. Yeah, I'm just being honest. Don't forget about this. Many colleges, let's say you're only an hour away, they have no problem on a random Tuesday, Wednesday, driving an hour. Again, you got to remember, what's at stake? They're talking about investing hundreds of thousands of dollars in you. They're putting their paycheck, in essence, they're putting their reputation online, right? So they want to make sure that you are the goods. So driving an hour for them to show up to your practice unannounced, to see how you practice, not a problem at all, right? They want to see you in action, then they want to shake your hand afterwards. They're going to talk to your coach about you. So I can't stress this enough, that yes, athletic ability is important. That's 1A. 1B is academic standing. But that 1C is often forgotten about, is character. That right there is as important. Do not lose sight of that. Right? Do not lose sight of that. And I'll just end it on this. I want the absolute best for you. And it's just a shame. I see it all the time, the mistakes. I mean, the margin of error is very small with college recruiting. Coaches, this is how, I said this multiple times, this is the business. This is how they feed their families. This is how they, put the roofs over their head. This is how they put clothes on their back, food on the table. This is how they put their kids through college. This is their livelihood. And I promise you this, they are not going to put that at stake if they ask questions about you and you have all these red flags from a character standpoint. So just be mindful of that. Carry yourself accordingly throughout your school building. Treat all your classmates, your administrators, your teachers with respect. And then also just be a great teammate and just make sure you just play with energy. you have a positive attitude, you do your best. And then I think if you do all those things, if you take care of all three buckets, there's a great chance you're going to have some type of athletic scholarship to attend college. Whether it's a partial scholarship or a full scholarship, you're going to have some type of athletic aid to attend college. And most importantly, you have a chance to continue playing a sport that you love. So I hope this episode has helped you out. That's so far we are at 6. That's 6 college recruiting myths that we are going to debunk. Tune in next week again for numbers 7 and 8. And don't forget to head on over to URECRUITU.com /full ride. So URECRUITU.com /full ride for all of today's show notes. But until next time, this is your college recruiting coach, Kito Delgado, reminding you that college recruiting starts with you. What steps are you taking today to earn an athletic scholarship tomorrow?